What's up? What's up?
Yes, sir.
How's everybody doing?
We're back.
Were we here last week?
Yeah.
A certain somebody else that's supposed to be helping us out wasn't here last week though. He was
Yeah.
partying in New Orleans.
His handkerchief going in everything, huh?
That I want to see. Now, I saw you do it. I saw you second. I need to see Falgout second line, man.
Right.
All right, what's going on, everybody? We are local musicians.
XP.
And we are here for your audio and visual pleasure, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
We have been doing this show for over a year. I don't know the exact date. It's been a minute, man. We should have done a 1 year. We have to look and see when the first broadcast was, but we've been going for a minute. They say it takes about 2-3 years, man, for your stuff to hit. So
we even had a little pilot episode that never made the.
And we have a lot of good unreleased stuff that we haven't even released. Interviews. We got Jess Graham. We got George Flew. We got a bunch of stuff that we haven't even that we're gonna unleash on people. But we're trying to just stay consistent and up our game a little bit, which I feel like tonight will definitely happen. Oh, so our first show. Wow! Wait a minute. So we're coming up on the year. So Tuesday, July 25th, 2023.
Wow.
So it looks like we're going to hit that mark pretty soon here. We'll be on the air for 1 stinking year, bro. Can you believe that? I was thinking we were past that, but
wow.
That's good. Stay at it, man. One day you'll have a future, man. And doing this. Yeah. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. If you are new, go to the YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on our Instagram as well. And give us the support for new and improved stuff that we're going to be bringing you. We've got a lot of we're reaching out. We got some national people that are coming into the fold. People that we've either just known, played with, or just reached out to. And we got some good people coming up, man. We're starting with one tonight that I think is going to be pretty mind blowing, and it's gonna tell some really great stories and give some young cats some really good advice on how they can get to this level, because that's what
young cats. Me too. I need.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Shoot, I'm trying to get where he is, bro. But he ain't gonna divulge all his secrets. You know what I mean? He's gonna give you some basics, and you got to go on.
I take all kinds, bro. NASDAQ.
No, that's right.
We all advice, bro.
Look, listen, we ain't no spring chickens, but
no, but I'll take it.
We still believe in, man. Look, the day you think you stop growing it's over for you. Right, it's over.
For reals.
So, yeah. But thank you guys. If you're new, like I said, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe or a sub. And I think you'll enjoy the content that we have coming up. So
it was brought to my attention. The first show was the Jam Session Part 1.
Part 1. Mm-hmm. That was when we were just. We need to go back and actually cut that up, Brian, and get some of those clips and see what the heck we were talking about, because I think we were mad at that time about a couple things. So. And then I think was the next one Al. Didn't we bring Al on?
Yeah,
Al Smith on, keyboard player, world traveler, and had him talk about his session and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to go back and see some of those older ones and see if we actually have grown some. I think we have, but we will You never know until you see
Yeah.
until you see what happened before that, man. So with all of that, there is plenty on the docket. Plenty of good stuff coming up. Tomorrow night we are at the Red Light Cafe. That is Gordon Vernick's session that has blown up. I think it's the top session in town. I mean, it's
It
like
is.
a
It is.
waiting list. It's like there's a line out the door to get into this. And again, man, it took him, how long was that session going?
A long time, even
I
before the
mean,
pandemic, but yeah.
man, I remember hardly anybody being there
Yes, 8 people sometimes, you
at
know.
that session. And now it's like a line out the door and people waiting for people to come out so they can get in. So I am off from my regular Wednesday night gig. My band, the Mike Veal Band, is out of town. They are in Florida and Key West. I was not able to go, so I'm here, and I am filling in for our brother Robert Boone at the session tomorrow night at Red Light, and with my man Mr. Jackson will also
Yes.
be on there, and the venerable Neil Starkey will be on bass for that.
Yeah.
So let's see. We got a couple other
Okay.
things.
It's 9:00 PM that starts.
9 p.m. Correct. 9 p.m. One very hip thing that's come up. We got Hammond B3 Organ Night at Napoleon's August 8th. You're going to start seeing some promo for this. But this is going to be a special night because we are going to feature not one, but two distinct organ players, right? We got my man Pat Bianchi, all the way coming down from New York City. He is doing a little run in the Southeast that I am actually a part of as well. So we booked a little gig at Napoleon's to get that started off, and we got a special guest. Mr. Jackson here is going to play one set.
Yep.
Pat will play another set. So we got 2 sets of Hammond B3 organ, Ben Weatherford on guitar, and plus we have some select sit-ins, people that are going to be sitting in. But this is not to be missed. That's going to be 8 p.m. at Napoleon's in Decatur, Georgia. So if you are in the area that night, mark this down. It will be a ticketed event. I'm not sure if they're on sale yet, but they should be here very, very, very soon. So, and that should be sponsored by Viscount Organs. But
yeah, one day.
Well, I mean, you both Viscount artists, so we'll have to make that happen, man. We're gonna make that happen. So
I'm gonna have to ask our guests about that, man, because they got some organ in their background. I gotta check and see if there's some.
He got organ in his back. What are you talking? What? This is I didn't know.
We'll ask about it. We'll ask, family lineage or something. It might be family lineage or something.
Oh, it's like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so the cat man holding out. I see. Okay, we're gonna find out. All right, we're gonna bring him on shortly. Okay, and then the following, actually, that is August 9th and 10th, not August 8th and 9th, August 9th and 10th, because we will be at Napoleon's on the 8th. So the 9th and the 10th of August, we will be at Rudy's Jazz Room in Nashville, again with Pat Bianchi Trio featuring Ben Weatherford and myself on drums, and we will play at Rudy's 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. So if you are in the Nashville area and you want to check out, I mean, there's some great cats out there, man, but Pat is definitely at the top in terms of keeping the tradition alive of great jazz organists. He is a direct descendant of Joey DeFrancesco, as a lot of people know, but he's on fire, man. I can't wait to play with him again, and we're gonna do our best to burn it down. So that'll be August 8th and 9th at Rudy's Jazz Room in Nashville. All right.
Yeah.
And We got a couple other things that we can't announce just yet, but they're coming. We had a rehearsal today with our sister Carla Harris.
Okay.
Sorry, I was going somewhere else with that.
Right. Okay.
But Carla Harris, and we are recording her new record next week down in Auburn, Alabama, at Trammell Stark's new studio at the University of Auburn.
Right.
And so we will. We just did a great rehearsal today with Billy Thornton, myself, and Carla, and man, came out. I mean, it's like, man.
Yeah. Some of the clips are up. She put the clips in the Dropbox. So yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. My man, Mr. Jackson here is arranging and producing the project. It is 5-star all the way around. And world-class stuff, man, happening. So
thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Can't wait. Yeah, man. Can't wait to share that with the world. And but that will be we are recording next Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah, next Wednesday. So look forward to the outcome of that. And man, other than that, I think it's time to bring our special guest on, man.
Is it time already?
Man, I'm done with the preliminary. We can get back to that, but I want to get this cat on, man, because
jump right into it.
It's not often that I get a drummer on the show. Number one, because I've not.
Should I just go get my popcorn
We had how many keyboard players we had on here, man?
We had like 4.
How many drummers we had on here?
1.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. So it's time to make that change, right?
This ain't Michael Jackson, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's looking the man in the mirror right now. Time to make that change.
They made the change too. Didn't they do a key change right on that too? Wow.
Off topic, man. Dion Cole used to say that's what the pimps used to say in Chicago to the chicks out there. Time to make that change. So anyway, not to go there, but I've admired this cat long time. I got to meet him a very, just a weird circumstance. I was playing a private party for an artist. Man, we'll have to tell the story because we were kind of reminiscent about when we met.
Okay.
But it was a private party at the comedian Ron White's house.
Oh wow!
So we're the Country Club of the South.
Okay.
And I was playing a private party. And at the time, his significant other was a background singer with Dave Koz, who was the artist that our guest was playing with.
Okay.
So I don't know no more than that. Okay, that's all I know about that. But you just never know who you're gonna meet. I'm playing a house party. Okay, cool. I had no idea those cats were gonna be there, man. Wow. I was like, what are you guys doing here? It's like, oh, she sings background in the band. I was like, what? I said, okay. So anyway, we hit it off immediately, man. We just chopped it up and we, kept in touch. I've been following him and we say our hellos on social media here every now and then. We actually had each other's number in the phone. I had forgot that we had exchanged numbers, but
you didn't delete yours? He kept yours in there too?
Oh man, no, man. Come on. He actually reminded me that he had it. I was like, whoa, we got each other's numbers.
CB.
But he is from the DC area, so I want to talk to him about some go-go as well.
Oh yeah. Got a lot.
Okay. He lives in Virginia, but I know he's got that go-go lineage, man. And so I want to talk to him a little bit about that. We're gonna talk to him about the separation of church and state, right? Ooh. Church and the modern. We're going to talk about all of that, plus his illustrious career and his current gig with the great Shaka Khan. So without further ado, we're going to bring our brother Dave Williams to the stage. What's up, man?
Hey.
Look, he repping the Nationals around this bad boy too.
Yeah. Got to make it happen. Especially when you cut your hair.
But But you've been rocking the ball. You've been rocking it for a while, man.
Yeah, but every now and then that reef come in, huh?
I've been trying to tell my man to let it go. He won't let it go, man.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
He trying to get.
I gotta
his
lose
dad,
some pounds first, bro. I gotta lose some.
His dad used to have that illustrious, curly, real wavy, beautiful, and so
Don't remind me, bro. Don't remind me, bro.
What's going on, Mr. Williams? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I am so blessed to be here, to be with you all on this this live stream. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Hey, man.
And great to meet you, Tyrone.
Same here, Jay. I can't wait to chop it up, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And you two got to play together at some point. Woo!
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah,
man. I would love that. Yeah,
that would be
I hear
crazy.
you play organ.
Yeah.
That's actually, I'm a drummer, but that's actually like my favorite instrument.
See that, bro? See that, Chris? I told you.
Even
your dad plays.
I had no idea.
Now I'm not a player.
He plays bass though. Did you know that?
My dad played.
His dad was the organist, right?
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was the organist. Yeah. So, so growing up watching him and actually gigging with him, so that I've loved that instrument.
Man, when it's played right, bruh, there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he just got the new. It's a MIDI setup, but it's man. It was like being in like this warm bath, man. I didn't want to. I mean, you don't even have to really play that much. It's like the organ tells you what to play, right? It's like, man. I mean, I wish, it seems like that's sort of like it's not as popular, obviously, because I mean but the MIDI setup is for real, isn't it? Yeah,
I'm hooked now. I mean, it's got the moving, Leslie. It's 11-pin hook up. Yeah, so it's
nowadays they're making a lot of portable organs that really sound, have that B3 sound. So
you got to check out this Viscount. I ain't gonna lie, but anyway, I digress. But go ahead. Yeah, we would love to do that. But that's so hype that the organ is your favorite instrument, because drums and organ, that's the orchestra right there. That's the only thing that you're lacking. And so the great thing about it is you cut the bass player out the way. So it's less of a person that gets in the way of where you could go quickly. Right. And so me and Chris, we play together so long. We play at church. It's just me and him too. We tried one time to introduce a bass player to it.
Man, dude.
Yeah.
I'll trust Chris. Jay, we're going to talk about this. When people are prepared for something, you don't have to say anything, right? Everybody does their homework. What's your boy, the coach Belichick used to say, hey, take care of your own area and everything will be fine.
Do your job. Do your job.
Yeah, if I take care of the keys and he takes care of the drums, we're fine. But when you throw that other person in the mix who ain't taking care of business, then you like, come on, bro.
Right.
So it makes it difficult.
Yeah, my start was my dad and I, we were part of this small church. But it was in the band. The band was me on drums and my dad on organ.
Wow.
And we used to have it rocking every Sunday. It was, it was great memories, amazing,
What's that like playing with your dad? Like, how's that?
Oh man, that was amazing. I mean, like I said, that was my start. I mean, I started playing, kind of really got into playing around 3, about when I was 5. My dad used to play with a lot of groups and churches in the DC area, so sometimes they didn't have a drummer, so he'll say, well, my son plays, and he'll play. Am I gonna say no? Right. So that's how my start.
Were you just that phenom, or was he just real patient with you as you grew into the position, or just
it came natural to me, as far as, because I've been around it so much, watching him, with playing with other guys and just growing up, seeing, I always hung with him. So when he'll go play with groups that had drummers, I'll be right by the drums, kind of like learning and, riding in the car. He'll listen to music. I mean, I grew up on the Hawkins family, Andre Crouch.
Oh yeah.
all of that stuff. That's Bill Maxwell on drums with Andre. Joel Smith on drums with the Hawkins. That's my upbringing.
Nice.
Wow.
So yeah, I got into that kind of early, and learning on the job. Pretty much with him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of even telling me sometimes, okay, you dragging while we're playing. So that means Pop said I need to speed up, that type of thing. But that was my training ground, and I loved it.
Right.
It helped me years down the line.
So. How old were you when you started? How old were you when you first, were playing in front of the congregation? And do you remember what tunes you were? Do you remember any of the tunes that you were early on?
Well, like I said, a lot of the Hawkins tunes. So, a tune by the Hawkins back in the day, "Until I Found the Lord." That was like a fast up tempo tune with Joel Smith on drums, just killing it. Now I'm not gonna say I played it like Joe, but
right.
I tried.
Right.
So back then, I started when I started playing. The pastor at the church, it was a small church, storefront we call it. He actually allowed me to set up my kid drums in the service next to the real drums, which was really which was really like a 4-piece kit, Ludwig. So I would set it up next to it. I would hit the cymbal from my kid drums and play the drums from. I even have a picture of it, but so that's how I started playing in church. Then once my dad started going out, well, he was always going out, but when he introduced me as coming with him or whatever, I'm left-handed, so I had to teach myself how to play right-handed. So I would switch. I learned, I had to switch drums around to play right,
Mm-hmm.
to play left-handed, but I got tired of doing that, so I switched it around to play right-handed. So I would do that at churches and everything. So I kind of taught myself how to play right-handed.
Wow.
Yeah. So you never was open hand, never kind of left hand on the hi-hat?
No, right. I started out playing left-footed.
Okay.
Left-footed, leading with the left. Then, got tired of, like I said, switching drums around. Taught myself to play right-handed, right-footed. So it's kind of weird now because I kick a ball with my left foot, play the kick drum with my right foot, eat with my left hand, do everything else with my left hand, but my right hand is the hi-hat hand. But a lot of times I do certain chops, I lead with my left.
I was just gonna say, I bet you that's an advantage though for you because you can having that left hand, you're already open to the whole kit instead of having to cross your hands over all the time. So
now if I pick up a bass guitar, I have to play it left hand.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't feel natural or comfortable playing right hand. So
okay.
How was the transition? How long did it take to really feel like you were in control of it when you switched to right hand position?
I don't think it took that long. It was a long time ago, but I don't think it took that long because I think at home, in practicing, because I used to practice, on pillows.
What is this word? Practice? What is that?
Right. But to me, it really at that age, to me, it wasn't practicing. It was just something that was keeping me occupied.
Right.
But in technical terms, as it was practicing.
Right.
So I would set up, of course, my kid drums or whatever, and kind of play around with that. And then once I beat those up, I was hitting on chairs and pillows. And even at my grandparents' house, my grandfather used to be a cab driver, and he had these antennas. So I would take his antennas, prop them up against the chairs, take old records that I probably shouldn't have done, put it on the antennas for my cymbals.
Oh,
yeah.
Jay, let me ask you this, man. So being a phenom like that, are there any drawbacks to being like having all this talent, all this? I mean, you're obviously working hard at it. It's like being in church, we know people praise you all the time, right? And so being at an early age doing that, I can see it in my mind, you setting up this drum set, this kid drum set, and killing it, and the church is like going crazy. What is that, a lot of pressure, or do you get to a false sense of I'm so great already because they acknowledge that? Is that's something that happened?
Not with me, no, because I have parents that kind of kept me grounded.
Right.
You know, so that never really dealt with it. And plus, my dad was really a real humble guy.
Wow.
So, and a lot of people say I kind of act just like him.
Wow.
So I try to do what I learned from him.
Is there pressure though, like pressure that people put on you from being that good at an early age, or?
I wouldn't say pressure, but you realize as you get older, you're only as good as your last performance.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
and when you get into the situation where we are now, as far as professional musicians, it's like you always got to keep it going, keep going to the next level.
Right.
But then with social media, that everything is on social media, so it's like, have a bad night, it's going to be.
We will discuss that further and just in a little bit, because we talked a little bit about that earlier, but that's a crazy thing. But I want to go back a little bit, man. So after you sort of got your feet wet, so to speak, in the church, and you're playing with your father, what was your next step as far as developing? Were you playing in clubs? Were you playing in a band? Were you, what was the next thing for you after you sort of, work through that a little bit?
Well, in school, I never played drums in school. Like coming up, elementary, middle school, high school, never played drums, but I did play trumpet in elementary school.
Okay.
So that was a good start for me into kind of learning the basics of reading. Just like in the 4th grade. So I got into playing trumpet, but of course I was still playing drums at church. But I played, trumpet. I don't to this day, I don't know what made me want to play trumpet. I may have seen a video with Miles Davis and thought he was cool, and like, that type of thing.
Right.
So I got it. I played trumpet for a little while. Then I got older. I was like, I want to concentrate on these drums a little more. So we sold the trumpet and got some cymbals. So
okay.
So it kind of went that way, and I really, really started honing in on drums more. And don't tell anybody. But I also used to sing in the school chorus too.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't tell nobody though.
We're gonna get some proof of that in a little bit later on.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
We get some proof of that. Don't let your current boss find that out, though. Don't let your current boss find that out. Don't let her find out. She'll put you on the mic. You know how they are.
Yeah, they got some bad cats on that current employee. They got some bad ones singing.
You might be safe. You might be all right.
Be safe on that one,
So like, were you so in terms of like just did you ever do stuff like in your teenage? Were you playing in a band? Were you hitting with like a cover band, or like what records were you practicing to? That's a good thing that we do.
I was a GRP head.
So
anything that came on, was on GRP record label, I was at the store every weekend with my little money, buying cassette tapes and then eventually CDs. So I was listening to that stuff like religiously. Like, when you excited about something, you get it, you listen to it or watch it for the first time, you gotta turn around and watch it right again, because you're excited about it. That's how I was about that stuff,
Right.
So that my listening was pretty much that, Yellow Jackets, Chick Corea, who else on GRP? Dave Grusin. Those cats like that. You know, I was into
Lee Ritenour. Yeah.
Which I got a question about somebody who's in was in a Lee Ritenour band, but yeah.
Yeah. Then the caveat to it all, you know, as I got older, I end up playing with some of those guys. You know, so that's a blessing in itself. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, I recently saw a video of Rick Beato talking about the value of, you know, having an album in your hand or having a CD and something that you had to work to get the money to go buy. And that was our sacred things, you know, is going to saving our money or doing some kind of job or whatever to have money to go to the record store to get these records and not only listen to them, but learn from them, play to all of that kind of thing. And that's why that music is so sacred to us, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then after getting into a lot of that, the GRP stuff and the fusion thing, period, I eventually started getting into as I matured musically, started listening to more bebop stuff as well. So I got into, you know, some of the Branford records. I remember my dad had a record, was a Wynton Marsalis record. Well, I don't remember the name, the title of the picture of it was his little brother.
Oh, Black Codes from the Underground.
Yeah. There you go. Yep. He had that record. So I used to listen
Tane.
to that. Yeah.
Tane Watts. Watts.
Tane is that dude.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
Yes, sir.
Still to this day. Yeah. Yeah. So that was a great record. You got Kenny Garrett records, especially the one with the Brian Blade on it.
Okay, I went to school with Brian Blade, so yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, wow. Went to UNO, and then he got swooped up by Joshua Redmond the next semester after that, and but such a beautiful cat, you know, showed everything. But yeah, I remember he's from Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm from New Orleans, and that's like a separate place. But man, just salt of the earth. But yeah, but Brian was like at an early age, just burning it, man. You know, burning it up.
Now he has a brother that plays drums too.
Yes, Brady.
Yeah. Who's killing too, man. Super
brand new heavy stuff, all that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, Brian plays so much heart.
Yeah. But he's like you. He grew up in a musical family too, so you know that's in there. Yeah.
And he just put out. His father is a minister, and they just put out. He's releasing. He hasn't put the whole album out, but there's a couple of tunes. I think he's just kind of putting tune by tune of stuff from his church that he's actually playing in the church. I think now with his father. And they're releasing this great music, man. It's great spiritual music. So I know that it's streaming on iTunes and Spotify, all that stuff. But if you just look up Brian Blade, I'll have to look up. Maybe Brian can look that up. It's not his band is the Brian Blade Fellowship, but this is his father, and I forget what the name. But yeah, he's still doing God. He's still playing in the church to this day.
Jay, what kind of outlet did you have to get all these influences? Like, so you're listening to these records, you're absorbing it, you're learning it, and you like you mentioned the bebop stuff. Did you get into groups where y'all were playing stuff? I mean, how did you deal with the records like in real time?
One of my outlets that I talk about all the time. Any day that I was out of high school, like a holiday or whatever, I would go down to Howard University and hang in the Fine Arts Building with my big, I call him my little big brother because he's shorter than me, Gordon Campbell.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we just did a clinic together.
I just saw y'all did something together on social. Yeah.
So I used to go down and hang with Gordon and Chris Dave in the practice rooms, and we just, we were shared together. I have to tell the story. The first time I met Chris, I think my mouth is still on the floor because I knew Gordon first. Gordon was like, I want you to hear this cat from Houston who just came here, was like, okay, cool. First of all, he had this sonar kit with the copper hardware.
Oh,
it was amazing.
Oh,
Right.
So I come to his door, his practice room, and it was still kind of hot. It was like August, September. So he was like, "Can you turn it's kind of hot. Can you turn that light off?" He turned the light off and started playing. Man, I thought it was like a Batman movie, you know, Bruce Batman. It was crazy. He was playing them drums out.
Man.
It was too. I was like,
turn the light off, Jay.
Right.
Turn it off.
Nowadays, that means a whole nother thing.
Right. Watch out, you by Howard University, you know.
Watch out.
Yeah, so, but yeah, Chris, man, Chris was another amazing cat. But he and Gordon, they're, you know, going down and hanging with them, and actually, for me, I used to go to even some of Gordon's classes, so I would sit there and kind of like soak in what was happening there. I mean, I remember class. What was her name? Played piano. She passed away. She was married to
Jerry Allen.
Jerry Allen.
Yeah,
Jerry Allen was one of the professors there.
Yeah.
So I remember going to, you know, one of the classes that she was teaching. And Grady Tate. I went to
Yeah.
So that was good education for me. Free education.
That's crazy because we try to get people to do that. I try to even get my students to do that.
Don't get started, man.
I'm sorry, but you just intuitively doing that, like you just knew that's what you needed to do to get the source of the stuff, which is beautiful, man. I think, I don't know where that came from, but if we could bottle it up and sell it, bro, you know, I'll give you like 13% on that. You know? Yeah.
So that's crazy. That was a big training ground for me. And then out of high school, I started playing in clubs, still playing in church and local choirs and concerts. But I started playing in those hole in wall clubs where you get paid from the money at the door, which back then I didn't care. You know,
That's right.
I was playing, and I was always playing with musicians older than me. So I was learning on the job, just learning what to do and what not to do, and just having fun doing it, you know.
Can you repeat that just one more time, Jay, for the folks in the back, because we got a lot of young people that do not understand that move right there.
Yeah.
Playing with older musicians and playing with guys who, you taking a whipping, but it's worth it. That's the only way you're going to learn, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I can remember back in the day, one of the main things that I was told back then is to learn to play with dynamics. You know, because there were certain sizes of rooms that we will play, and you know, I always say drummers are always the unwritten band leader. You know, they dictate the room, and so
bus driver,
yeah.
So everybody else is going to play according to how the drummer's playing, volume wise, and even energy wise too.
Right.
So that's a big thing that I've always kept, and I've learned how to adapt into playing certain situations, certain people. Even as I got older, I learned even more because I used to tour with singer Will Downing.
Oh yeah.
So I toured with him for like 6 years, and I still every now and then record on some of his records. I had to learn to adapt to him as an R&B, crooner.
And,
we did a lot of ballads, so I had to learn my approach. I had to kind of change my approach from playing funk or playing in church to I'm playing Will. So my thing is, if you want to keep working, you have to adapt to the artist that you're working for.
As a drummer, man, I mean, it's something that you can only learn through experience, because if you're, especially coming out of, playing in church, playing a lot of funk music, playing, even if you're playing rock music or anything, it's like, they want you to hit hard. They want you to kind of, just in terms of, there's always situations where you might, come down or whatever, or bring the dynamic down. But for the most part, you're at an electric level, what I like to call an electric level. So you don't really know until playing with a vocalist that, like you just said, does a lot of ballads, man, that is the greatest. I got fired. I mean, because it was like, I didn't know how to play with a vocalist, not play softly and be able to complement what's that, which is difficult to do on the drums, because that's not, the drums are loud by nature. So what was your experience with, were there things that he was telling you about things to do, or was it just you just sort of like figuring it out for yourself and kind of
it was a conversation. It was a conversation with him. And to this day, I thank him for it. He kind of, in a way, telling me what he wanted, and how to approach his songs, which, was cool. Not a lot of cymbals crashing and all that stuff, kind of subtle things. Then that I literally went back and kind of listened to some of his records. I was like, okay, that's how I'm supposed to approach it. Because, how I learned his show was I was sent live recordings of his show. So in my mind, okay, that's how it's supposed to be. But I should have, I learned then that I should have gone back and listened to the records,
to the source,
to see how, and that was a learning thing for me. So to this day, I do that now with other artists that I have to learn their music, have to work with, even with Shaka. I had to kind of go back and see the approach that, from the original, and then bring it up to date to what it is now.
Right.
Some of those grooves that John Robinson played, or Steve Ferrone, on those records, I had to, kind of cop some of those things, and but then of course add Jay Williams to it.
Right. But going back to the source is really, really important.
It really is.
Well, this is a good question. I mean, this is a question I think Tyrone came up with. What does it take to play with an iconic musician or vocal like that? You talked about, first of all, it would obviously be listening to what they want, right? And how they want their music approached. But give us a little bit of, some other things that you've learned through just playing with people on that level.
Well, for me, I'm listening when most people don't think you're listening, in a sense. So I'm not just speaking in the music sense. I'm speaking in even conversations. I think you pick up a lot of tidbits out of conversations. Like, for instance, when I first met Shaka was after I played for her, because she doesn't come to sound checks. So when I first met her, we were in Chicago, and we did the show. First time she saw me was on stage when she walked out on stage.
Whoa.
Right.
Whoa.
So played the show. Of course, I was nervous, in a sense, but I did my homework, so everything was cool. After the show, I went and introduced myself to her and talked to her, and we were talking, and she gave me compliments and everything. Then a lot of people don't know, she's actually a drummer too.
Yes.
Right. That's right.
In the conversation, she just was happy, and she said, I like piccolo snares. I have a piccolo snare. I was like, do you have a piccolo? I'm like, no. But
you went and got
I took that as to, okay, you need to tune your snare up.
I was man.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's what she meant by saying that.
Right.
But you told me what you like. So it's my job. It's my job to give you what you like.
So that's important. You just said that it's your job to give them what they like.
Right.
And even though you read in between the lines, that is the impetus for you to be getting the call third, fourth, fifth time, or even getting the gig, is that you give them what they want, even if it's in their head and they haven't expressed it, right? You pick up on cues, whatever, but you have to be malleable as a musician.
Yeah.
You got to have a lot of influences.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have all this stuff at your disposal and be willing to go the extra mile like you did. You can't be content in just that, right?
Right. Like for instance, say for instance, you playing with Gerald Albright or Kirk Whalum.
Yeah.
It's little tidbits that I pick up from them. Like when we're playing, they have a tendency to rock their leg in a certain way.
Wow.
I lock into that leg because that's where they feeling it.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I lock into that leg.
Right.
Like, that's where you want it. That's where, you know what I'm saying? So that's I gotta give it to you because that's how you feeling it. It doesn't matter how I'm feeling it. You know?
Yeah.
So I gotta,
I think, and even, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but even in situations where there may be an MD for an artist,
mm-hmm.
And the MD sets up the tempo or sets everything up. If you watch the artist and their foot is in a different place than where you go with the foot,
mm-hmm.
you pay attention to where they're feeling it, not where, because, and I've had great MD be like, man, you were right. You did right. Watch. I'm trying to do the best I can, but ultimately watch them and where they want. They might move it. It might be just a tick or two, but you go with them.
A lot of artists that play, they have some way of showing you what they're feeling.
Right.
Like Michael McDonald, for instance, I played for him a couple of times, and he always tapping his foot. So I look at his foot. I hear even with Stevie that's one thing that he does. And this is around the time Teddy Campbell was playing with him, and he said he just honed in on his foot, and that's where he wants it. So whether you think it's fast or slow, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Put it where he,
Yeah.
You mentioned Will Downing. So do you know Troy Soul?
Yeah.
Okay.
Soul from DC.
Yeah, when you talk to him, ask him what his nickname for me is. I didn't give myself this nickname. He gave me a nickname. So yeah, that
all right.
Another show, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, since you brought it up, man, let's go ahead and go there. Okay. So, you mentioned that the first gig you played with her, you hadn't even met her. So how did that gig come about? And was that something that was there any sort of lead up to that? Were you kind of in the mix of, had you been on the same bill with her, or how did that whole thing kind of come about?
Well, the musical director, a good friend of mine, Melvin Lee Davis, bass player.
Okay.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Melvin.
Yeah, he's been with her since
late
80s, pretty much on and off.
When he had a Jerry curl.
Mm-hmm. I often tease him about that too. But what I tease him about most is he's a bass player. or Coming to America.
Coming to America. He was the bass player on it.
Yep.
And bro, Melvin, I played with a group that we were opening for Lee Ritenour, and Melvin was in that group.
Okay.
And he had that 7-string bass, and he had his Ken Smith strings. He was indoors, and I saw the cover on the string, and that's where he had the jerk. I was like, bruh, you look like the cat in Coming to America. He's like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, I get him all the time. All the time. Yeah, but that's how I got, pretty much. I first met Melvin playing with Gerald Albright.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's another one. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I wasn't playing with Gerald on a regular then. I met Gerald through Will Downing. Will and Gerald did like a duo show together.
Right.
But it was Will's band that played for Gerald. So Gerald's
a good bass player too, man.
Yeah. Yep. He's a bass player as well. He kind of like, my plan. So he asked me to come do a gig with him in New York. And that's how I met Melvin.
Wow.
So we kind of gelled and clicked like right off. Wow. That's a good, for a drummer and bass player to click quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So and then from then we became friends. We've been working on countless of projects with each other. I played on his record. He's on my record.
Man, I gotta hear.
Yeah, and so
he's a bad cat, bro.
Yeah,
that thing that he does with the volume pedal too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's a versatile cat.
Very versatile cat.
Yeah, because he's funky.
Yeah.
Then
he could do the chords thing with that. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays. I mean, he used to be in Simon Phillips' band. So all the different time signatures, and he he can read or fly on the paper, that type of thing. So yeah, Melvin's a bad guy. So basically, it's kind of funny because through over the years, he's always wanted me, to play in Shaka's band, but it was just never could click because there was times where certain drummers who were playing, they had to do something else. So he would call me to see if I was available to to do a gig or two or whatever, but I was never available. Pandemic happened. So 2021 in summer, Shaka had a date coming up, and he was like, "Let me check with Jay." So I was available, and from then, that's how it started.
Wow.
It's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing. One, to play with an icon, as Shaka, and to play some iconic music that I grew up on, grew up listening to.
Right.
Then of course playing with your friends, like Melvin's a good friend of mine. We talk all the time, even off stage. So that's always a good thing as well.
How many versions of "Tell Me Something Good" have you heard where people messed up that little break coming in?
Oh wow! I try not to even pay attention to it. I still try to remember what I'm supposed to play.
Right. What about that Tiny Desk concert, bro?
Desk. Man, that turned out better than I expected.
Because you say play with dynamics, it's gotta be. It has to.
Oh yeah, that was an adjustment.
Right.
Let's start with the kit. What did you bring? What were you using? What on the gig itself in terms of, obviously you had to kind of scale down your
regular setup.
Your regular
setup.
So how did you design? How did you make a decision as to what to bring to that?
Well, when they say tiny desk, man, that desk was very tiny. As you can see, we were kind of like, we've never been that close together on stage. But I understand. I understand it. Yes, I had to scale the kid down. I developed. I'm glad that we actually were there the day before, because to get acclimated to everything, and I developed a thing where, okay, let me play, with stick in one hand, and the rod stick in another hand.
Okay.
And sometimes I would switch each hand back and forth, depends, because like on the verses, I would go to side stick on some of the verses, and normally I would play snare on the verses. So I had to kind of make those adjustments or whatever.
Right.
And then when I played snare, I played with the rod stick.
Right.
So I had to make those adjustments, and thank God it worked out. Like I said, you really have to play really light, like almost half as your lightest.
Right. But still, right.
Right, and it actually came out really great.
Man, that thing went viral, man. This is like it. I mean, I got, I remember people, I hadn't seen it yet, but they're like, man, you see Shaka on Tiny Desk? I was like, what? I was like, really? I said, okay.
Yeah, she was in her bag on that day.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, she was.
Oh
I mean,
God. Yeah.
And the background vocalist too? Oh my goodness.
71.
71?
Singing like that.
Great, man.
I mean, and it's we got to change this key. She's singing in original keys, man. At 71.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
I mean, but that's a true testament to just, the hours of being, real all the time, not cutting corn, not singing with tracks, not you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
you can't fake that, man. And especially when you play in stripped down versions with like stuff like this, you get exposed real quick in terms of, you know, where everything. That's why a lot of people don't like to do those, you know, when they do small, they don't want to do that because it's like they can't hide behind, you know, the tracks or, you know, auto tune or drummers. You know, they can't hide behind the sequencer, all that kind of stuff. It's like it's like real deal, man. So,
Jay, for the keyboard players out there, what can you tell them about being responsible for an artist like this? Like, I mean, of course, obviously you have to listen to it, but you know, there's some things like sound management. You have to go in there and try to, you know, what can you tell younger cats about that kind of stuff? No.
First, it starts with learning the instrument that you have. As far as, you know, if there a manual come with it, get into that manual. Learn how to program sounds.
Right.
Because you really have to duplicate a lot of sounds from, you know, from the records.
Right.
So you need to find those sounds and know how to get to them quickly, because you go from song to song or spot to the song to, you know, like for instance, guy that's on the Tiny Desk, his name is Jesse Milner. He's from Germany.
Oh, wow.
He travels to the States to gig with us for a reason.
Sure.
Wow.
If you notice, he's literally playing all those different parts by himself.
That's crazy.
No tracks. So
That's
you know he knows how to split his keyboard, different sounds, and cover all those parts.
That's crazy.
You know, so you have to learn your gear. It's important to learn your gear, learn the song, learn the music, learn every part of it, because you're gonna have to play horns on certain parts. You're gonna have to play strings on certain parts, Rhodes, keyboard pad. You know, so you gotta. I mean, it takes work, but you have to work at it. You know, come up with a plan and kind of really sit in your room and kind of each song that you got to play, map out how you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Is this the is this the Tiny Desk set list that we're looking at, Brian? It just put a set list. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. So did you guys know what songs you were gonna do, or was she just calling stuff out?
We knew. Yeah, we kind of knew ahead of time what we were going to do. So
does she generally make a set, or who the MD do they? So you guys have a set list for the show, and
Melvin makes the set list, but he approves it with her.
Okay.
Before he sends it out to everybody.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he approves it with her before, because it's sometimes she might not. There's certain songs that she not even feel. She might not feel like doing that particular night, which is, you know, depend on where her voice is or how she feeling. Period.
Right.
And then of course you gotta make a set list according to the time that you have on stage. So sometimes we do 90-minute shows, sometimes 75-minute shows, some 60-minute shows. We've even done 45-minute situations.
Yeah. Which if you did like that melody lingers on the version that she does, that is a long, intense thing. It's got a lot of moving parts. So that could take up like 15 minutes right there. Just
right. Well,
which I would love to see how that dude covers that the little synth bass and the other thing.
Well, we don't normally do the whole song.
Okay.
We do part of it when she walks off stage, you know, kind of, you know, get a little rest. And we do solos. Like, you know, there's keyboard solo, drum solo, then she lets some of the vocals do, you know, a couple of things or whatever.
Right. And I really appreciate that about her. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay.
I'm sorry.
No, you go.
Oh, and percussionists as well. We do like a little drum percussion thing, kind of, you know, and basically it's really just to give her time to kind of, you know, get something to drink, relax, and then come back on stage, or sometimes even change clothes or whatever.
Right. She's really gracious about giving, like, especially our background singers, moments in the set.
Yeah.
I was playing with a group that opened for at Chastain Park in Atlanta.
Okay.
And man, she really, she was rehearsing, the background singers was killing, and she gave them their moments. I was like, wow, a lot of artists don't do that, you know. And tribute to how incredible of a vocalist she is, that she lets people shine too, you know.
And she has some great singers to really do it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, like actually the newest member was living in Atlanta, Trina Broussard. I don't know if you were.
Oh yeah.
She's with us now. I think she was on Tiny Desk. Yeah.
Nice.
And Audrey Willer Downing, Will Downing's wife. She's an artist in herself. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the one in the middle on the Tiny Desk show.
Okay.
That's Will's wife. She's been with her since the 80s, pretty much.
You know what? I did know that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
There's Trina. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right, enough keyboard talk, man. Let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is the drums, man.
Yes, sir.
Drums. No more keyboard. Yeah, that's good. Go do something. Go play your Hammond. Go play your organ, man. Go play your organ. All right. What you gonna do for me? I have studied that track for I don't know how many years. Okay. Steve Ferrone, the opening lick. Now, did you know that track before you started playing, before you played with her, or was that something that you?
Of course, I knew the song and heard the song, right. But I didn't learn the song because I didn't have to learn the song until you know, learning all the parts until started playing with Shaka.
Right.
But yeah, definitely that Steve Ferrone is that guy. Still that guy. Yeah,
he's 70,
75, I think, 76.
Something, in that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
His
groove is with traditional grip.
I mean, Average White Band, all the Average White Bands. So Hamish Stewart wrote that. What you going with? And that there's a different version that Hamish sings that's floating around. Everything is pretty much the same. The drums, the opening, and all that stuff. But covering an icon like Ferrone or JR, JR with the Rufus, or Andre Fisher, also from the Rufus, all the Rufus stuff. Vinny's a lot of people don't know Vinny played with Shaka, Vinny Colaiuta. So as you mentioned a little bit before, covering, there's Steve, man. One of the OG, the legends, man, just that absolute legend. So how meticulous is she in terms of wanting you to play those grooves note for note? I know you got to bring something, bring yourself to it also, but what do you try to capture when you
I try to play, and I tell drummers all the time, younger guys, make sure that what you playing is familiar to the artist. If you play something totally different than not, that's not the song to them, that could throw them off in a sense. So you got to play what's familiar to the artist and make sure the groove feels. It might not be an exact same thing that Steve Ferrone or JR plays, but it has to be close to it. Very close to it. So, like for instance, "Ain't Nobody." There's a particular drum groove that most people don't play. A lot of as far as in the clubs, they'll just play straight 2 and 4. But it's the rhythm that you play throughout that song. So I play that through that song until we get to the bridge. I'll play like a straight 2 or 4 groove. But when we go back to the chorus, I go to that groove, and that's all J.R. Robinson, and the way he lays it down is amazing.
Yeah, because that's off the I got I Feel For You record right here.
Okay. Yeah.
And I happen to be very close friends with the drummer who played on that tour, a cat named Armin Grimaldi, who played with Shaka in late 84, 85, who was an LA cat. And he told me some interesting thing because at that time, cats weren't playing the sequence parts on the acoustic drums yet. A lot of cats were still, they might have a blend of that, but he was one of those guys that could play the sequence parts with the toms and catching all the little things. And that's what she really liked, from Armin. I think he played with her for about a year or so. But yeah, so capturing those grooves and making sure, like you said, you sort of make sure that that's familiar to the artist. So you're basically you're going to take the basic of the groove, so you make sure that they can hear exactly what that, and then you're going to just add your own thing. You add your own thing to that. Mm-hmm.
That's and cool. I try to apply that in every situation I'm in a sense. Even with some of the smooth jazz artists that I work with, a lot of that stuff, some of that stuff is programmed. So I'll try to play what's programmed, but play with a live feel, and certain feels that I will play will be a live drummer feel, but still got to come back to that basic groove. So the song will be for one, so the song will be recognizable to the artist and to the audience, because you got to realize those people in the audience, I always say they have normal ears. Musicians don't have normal ears. Right. So if you're playing for musicians, it could be go over the audience head, which more importantly, the audience is the one they're paying for tickets.
Right.
They're buying the records.
Right.
Musicians are getting comp tickets and they downloading the songs for free,
Thank you.
So
thank you.
So you gotta think in that realm. Okay, you can't play everything over the top or unrecognizable for the normal ear.
Right.
Because my thing is, people, the normal fans, they'll know when something is off, and they'll recognize it and be like, "That's not how the song goes."
Right. They're expecting, that's what they're there for, is to hear those especially the hits. They want to. I mean, they want to hear them pretty much some artists might change. Sting is an artist that will he plays with things, plays with his music a lot. He'll change keys, he'll change rhythms, he'll change stuff, but not to the point to where it's inaudible to the people. But
one thing I dislike with a lot of artists, and back to the smooth jazz genre, what they do is sometimes they think speeding the song up makes it more exciting. But sometimes speeding the song up
loses the groove.
Exactly. So it's like more exciting doesn't mean more chops or speeding it up. Just play with more energy.
So can you explain what that is? It's because this is something that we've talked about on this show a million times. And what is your explanation as to, you're playing with more energy, but you're not playing with more chops, or you're not playing with more speed? How can you explain a little bit of that?
As a drummer, like I mentioned earlier, the drummer dictates the energy of the show, of the song, of the band. So you have to really be able to drive your bandmates to a point where you have to have that foundation and kind of push them to another level, energy wise, through your playing, without speeding up, but kind of make them know that you're back there, make them feel it, and then if you see somebody in the audience and their head is bobbing, you got them, That's important to me. If the artist that you're playing for, if they're feeling it as well, you got them. So.
I call
it like. I'm sorry. What was it like playing with George Duke? In that.
Wow, that's a story in itself. Wow. Playing with George, man, was like the first time I played with George was on the Capitol Jazz Cruise, where basically we were like a house band playing with different artists. So playing with George, of course, I learned everybody's music. But I really did my homework on George's music.
Right.
We did a song called Brazilian Love Affair.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the end of the song where it's like a line that he does. So we did it in sound check, and we nailed it. George looked up at me, was like, and smiled. I was like, "Yeah, got him." So that was a big thing for me. That was a great experience. Then later on down the line, I get a call. I had a illness that I went through, and I recently got out the hospital. I remember riding in the car with my wife, and we're going to dinner, and I get a call on my phone, and said, "Jay Williams, this is George Duke. You out of the hospital?"
Just like him. Wow.
He was like, "You out of the hospital?" I was like, first of all, I was like, "Who's playing on my phone?"
Right.
Then I recognized the voice. I was like, "Yeah, I'm out of the hospital. How you doing?" Then he was like, "I need you to do a date with me. It's in June." This was like, he called me like in February. So I was like, okay, that gives me enough time to kind of heal.
Right.
So that was a big thing for me.
Wow.
That was a great situation. Actually, the show was in Detroit. So we did that show. And then I actually was supposed to play with him the week that he passed away.
Oh, man.
So, that was.
What an uplifting thing too, man, to be coming out of the hospital, coming out of your situation, and then and then you got George Duke on the phone.
Yeah, going through that situation that I went through, I started to get depressed or whatever. Like of course concerned, because I got wife and kids. I'm like, hey, I need to get out there and work. But my health was kind of keeping me from doing that. Then I get that call. I'm like, wow, God still loves me, Right. So that was big for me.
And something to work toward too. That gets you out of that dark cloud.
Yeah,
I got to put in that work.
Yeah, right, man. They'll get you some momentum, back into gets into your normal life. I mean, man, for a cat like yourself to get calls like that and to be able to have people just pass your name with good intentions, man, all the time. And I'm sure there's been several calls you couldn't do that you've gotten from that. That's just what you worked for, man, your whole entire life. And that's a combination of being raised the way you were and being around
humility.
And being and having that great mentorship of how to do things and do things the right way. And what's your, are there other things that you, in terms of, I know you've done all these things musically, but are there other things that you want to do to pass down some of what you've learned? Maybe it might not be necessarily teaching like we kind of talked about early on, but just giving back to you said you had one student that you were working with, I think at the church, that you said that you were or that you had worked with a little bit, that you said was. So is there anything on the docket for you, man, in terms of doing some give back stuff like that?
I would love to do more clinics, actually, which is surprisingly, a thing for me, because I'm really an introvert, and talking in front of people kind of Yeah.
That's terrifying. Clint, I
a great job though right
no
now.
way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So
yeah.
It's a learning ground. This whole thing, the podcasting and all that stuff, it's learning ground for me, just communicating, talking, and I, my family get on me all the time because I can be somewhere amongst people and you wouldn't even know I'm there.
Wow. That's the way you were at that party. You were completely like, you were just observant. We hit it off and everything, but it was like, I could tell, like, he's just chilling. He's just, we'll talk when we talk or whatever. But
it's funny. My mom even she prays for me all the time, but she admires that God has opened the doors for me, to do what I do, travel how I travel. Yeah. And when she talks to me, she's like, "Son, you're not excited?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm excited." So she, and honestly, I mean, it's an honor and a blessing to do what I do and do what my main focus is not for fame or fortune, is to be able to take care of my family doing what I do with the gift that God's given me. Right. So that's my main, my main focus. And and I believe with me keeping that focus, He's keeping me working.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's another question. What is the hardest thing about being a touring musician? What would you say is the most difficult thing about that?
Wow. Sometimes being away from home, and then there's things at home that need to be taken care of. That's hard to take care of away, when you're across the waters. It's kind of, and I'm a protector and a provider, so I don't ever want, like, my wife to deal with certain things. I just like to deal with it. Something might go down at the house or whatever, or one of the cars. I tell them what to do to direct them to situations, but I like to be there. I like to be hands-on and make it happen. But we've been doing this for a while, so it's gotten to the point where we know how to navigate that whole thing. So that's basically. Then just recently, my godfather had passed away. I was in London. I was in Europe during that time that he passed away, so I couldn't be here for the family, and even for this funeral service. So it was kind of hard watching it online, that type of thing. But
right,
yeah, that's life. Yeah,
right. Gotcha. We got a question from Brad Thomas. He says, "Jay, do you have a preferred drum set?" So Jay is a Yamaha artist, but they have many different sets. So what is your preferred set?
On the road and in the studio, the Yamaha hybrid drums. They're great maple sounding drums. I even like the recording customs, which are birch.
Those are legends.
Yeah.
I like this black Yamaha drum set. I like that one.
Man. You don't know what I'm talking.
Right.
I bet you.
They make those in black too.
He's speaking of a specific set that I have that I
he was supposed to sell to me, but then he fell in love with it all over.
I got him tuned in, man. They sound real good.
I understand, bro.
It took me a minute. You know how it is, Jay? You're like, man, you tweaking, and all of a sudden you kind of get it dialed in. You're like, oh, okay, here it is.
Right.
Right.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. Yep. But
look at him.
I get it.
I found you something else, man. I found you something else. So you'll be all right.
Moving on.
So the hybrids. How long you've been a Yamaha artist? For a minute now. How long have you been
officially since 2006.
Okay. What were you playing before you?
I was playing. Actually, my first like major tour.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing Mapex on that tour.
Yeah.
But it wasn't official though.
Right.
I played Mapex, then I played Pearl for a little bit, but nothing official. But
right.
in 06, I officially signed with Yamaha. But with the guy at the time, the artist relation guy was Joe Testa. He's over at he's over at Vic Firth and Zildjian.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yamaha. That's a huge.
Yeah, man. That's
yeah. It's great drums. Some of my
consistent. Very consistent.
Yeah. Some of my favorite friends play Yamaha. Great. At one good thing about Yamaha drums and their hardware is they're easy to kind of adjust and move around. Hardware is light. They're not like these other drums, that are named by initials. We're not gonna say.
Oh, we know.
I man. Okay, so
Doctor Who's, Doctor Who's.
Hey, I've turned so many
Devil's Workshops.
No. That's good. That's good. That's good.
I just never got it. Now, okay, let's. I'm not even gonna
move on
with that. But the Yamaha, I look. I'm not a Yamaha endorser. I have a Maple Custom Absolute. I have the Birch Customs. I have. I think that's all Yamaha stuff I have. But the Crosstown hardware,
golden, right?
I'm trying. Man, I've turned so many cats on to that, and I'm trying to turn more on. I'm like, dude, especially if you're working in town. There's no. Why would you not do that? Why would you not do that?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm having some sent to me like within the next couple of weeks. It should be out. Yeah, that Crosstown hardware is a game changer.
What a game changer, man.
Man, when you help a drummer out, that's the first thing they say. You want to grab that, brother?
Right.
Now y'all don't even ask. It's like y'all don't even grab that.
Yeah.
I always do the trick, man, and make us say, hey, man, can you grab that for me and help me? And they're like, oh, man. I said, man, just help. I'll help you. They pick it up. They're like, what is this? What kind of hardware is this? I'm like, gotcha. Yeah. So it's very light aluminum. For those that don't know what we're talking about, it's stands that are made out of aluminum. And Tyrone, you said that they're making a keyboard. They're doing a keyboard version of that, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I can't wait till that come out.
So,
I can put that
man,
on my back.
All right, here's another question from John Lamatina. Thanks, John, for checking in with us. Do you feel this is great
last night from playing?
Whatever. This is a great question, and I'll see John tomorrow. Do you find any time to practice when you are touring? Ooh, that's a tricky one. Drum pad in the hotel. How do you keep your chops up? That's a great question.
A lot of times a pillow.
Yeah, buddy.
Hotel pillow.
Dennis and Buddy Rich. Dennis and Buddy Rich.
If I'm feeling my muscles feeling tight, kind of loosen up on the pillow, and then right before I go on stage, I'll practice on a pad or a towel, fold up a towel, and just kind of loosen up a little bit. Yeah, so that's the extent of my practicing on tour.
Yeah. What are your
singles, right? You can't do any. There's no rebound on the pillow, or
no rebound on the pillow. So that helps with loosening up and getting you ready, getting the muscles ready.
What's your rudiments of choice, brother? What's your rudiments of choice?
I normally do a lot of single stroke stuff, kind of to help me lose, because my main thing is loosening up. So I'll like a period of time single strokes until my wrist or forearms get kind of tight. I'll stop, relax a little bit, and just get back to it. Then double stroke rolls, that type of thing.
Now doubles on the pillow, that's a whole different thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And my goal is when doing that is making sure I hear every beat. So you literally gotta pull back, pick up the stick and go right back into it. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So when you were just another practice question from me is, in the heyday of your shedding, what would be the longest that you would go? How many hours would you say you would hit?
I would say
he's an introvert. He lived on them things, bro.
Yeah. So
I have a guess, but I just want to see. I want to see what he says.
So the story is this.
Okay.
At 16, I had a summer job. My dad used to work on Capitol Hill, and he hooked me up with a summer job to work the grounds at Capitol Hill. You know, cutting grass, pulling weeds, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My goal for that job was to buy my first kit with my own money.
Right.
So, of course, after I bought the kit, I wanted to quit the job. But
Right.
that's yeah. I mean, because the weather was hot like it is now. So I was out there, you know, like it was on a plantation. But once I got my kit and everything, and at the time I was playing Pearl, I had bought a Pearl export kit, and I was seriously in the dentist chamber.
Yes, sir.
Had a black hat and all that stuff.
Yep.
Earth ride like Dennis.
Oh, not the Earth ride, dude.
Yeah.
Not the Earth ride.
Yeah. So set up like Dennis. So I would put his videos on and try to emulate everything he was doing on video. And I mean, just hours and hours of just doing that. And then of course watching the Weckel videos, those all of the
DCI man.
Yeah.
The DCI era for us. But first of all, they weren't cheap. So you had to, I mean, what was the average? Probably 39, 40, 50 bucks, something like that.
Yeah.
So you had to order, man. I still have my VHS collection of, you know, both Dennis's, the Weckels, the Buddy Rich Memorial concert, Walfredo Reyes and Weckel together. Like I would just get everything, man. But and spend, I mean, I don't know how many hours. And what was cool though is when they started coming with the little booklet. Some of them would come with the little booklet, and they have some stuff written out. Like I don't know if you ever checked out the. Did you have the Garibaldi? Did you get the tower when he had all the Tower Power stuff?
I think I did see. I know I did Garibaldi. That's all he did with some percussionists.
Right. That was the talking drums. I think this.
Okay, talking drums. Okay.
But then he did one that was like where he broke down a whole bunch of the Tower Power grooves, and I can't remember what that one was called, but. Tower of Groove, maybe something like that. I can't remember. But man, having all that stuff where you could kind of see a little, you know, because trying to figure some of that stuff out, man.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here with all the ghost notes and all that stuff. Man.
Right.
So Dennis is an early here. I mean, Dennis is, you know, who else were some, you know, was some of your early heroes like that? Man?
Omar Hakim.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That Bring on the Night movie. I used to try to play that solo here.
I burn for you. For you. Yep.
Yeah. So I got into Sting by that movie. I was, I think, 11. I went to we had a video store called Arrows, and they had it in there. So I rented it, and I don't know if they even got it back.
Sometimes it's like that, man.
Hey,
sometimes
it's
like
what it is.
There it is, Tower of Groove.
Groove,
man, it's crazy. I hadn't thought about that in years, but Tower of Groove, man.
Yeah, wow. I love Omar on that Joe Sample stuff, bro. With the ashes and stuff when he played on that.
Yeah.
And what's the big one?
Spellbound.
Spellbound.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think Marcus Miller produced that record.
Yeah. Omar, I met Omar. I was living in LA. I was working in a clothing store in the center. This is like 1989, 88 or 89, something like that. And he had just gotten signed to GRP. He has one record.
Yep. He has one. I remember that record.
What he's wearing on that cover is what I sold him. He had like the
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. Really? Yes, sir. Yep.
That's great.
He had the long curl with the I think I sold him like a duster, it was like a kind of almost like a trench silk coat that he wore. Yeah, man. Wow. Sold him all that. He was the coolest cat. I actually was playing.
Did you know he's gonna wear it on the record?
I had no idea, man. But he invited me. He was doing a clinic in San Diego the next day.
Okay.
And he was but he was just trying to get some gear for, he was trying to start his own band. I'm like, you playing whatever, doing all this stuff. I actually had a cassette of the John Scofield record, which to me is my favorite. It's called Still Warm.
Okay.
Is pinnacle. Man, that album, bro. If you're not hip to that, man, that's vintage. That's the back. That
called Still Warm.
Called Still Warm.
And you said
first tune is called Protocol. It taught everybody how to solo over a vamp. So he was in that band. Let's see, Sting was that was like 85, something like that. Still Warm was it was right around that same time, man. But he was, go check that record out, man. That's the halftime shuffle stuff on there. And it's Daryl Jones who
and Grolnick, isn't he on there?
Yep, Grolnick, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Sko, and that's the baddest. It's the to, of course, the Dennis days, right? Mm-hmm. But to me, that's my favorite. I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, there's some Blue Matter. I mean, all those Dennis records are amazing, but Still Warm is my favorite, man. You got to check that out.
There's the record that Steve Jordan played on Scofield.
Oh man, that's a great one too.
What's that?
Electric. That's electric. Something. Steve Jordan. Brian, look up Steve Jordan. John Scofield. I think it's called like Electric.
I like
Steve Jordan. It's Electric something.
There's a tune. I want to say it's called Phone Home. That's on that record. And the groove. I know of it because Melvin Davis, he re-recorded on one of his records, and I played drums on it.
I'm thinking about is Pick Hits on that? That later was on the live album with Dennis. I think the original Pick Hits tune is on, but there's like a couple of tunes that Dennis, they redid with Dennis later on that are on that record, man. But yeah, man, that's one of my favorites too, man. Jordan is another cat, man. That
his groove.
Of course, he's a rock star now, but
right. Yeah.
When he was playing with the Brecker Brothers, and he was fusion, he was kind of like a fusion drummer early on, man. With all those fusion cats in New York City.
Mm-hmm. So, his groove is amazing.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Nothing like it, really. I mean, like his
just that John Mayer, he produced. I think John Mayer's first.
That's right. Yeah.
Record. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. And the trio with him and Pino.
Yep.
That stuff, man, is absolutely murdering. There it is. What's that album called, Brian?
Yep.
Electric Outlet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the one with Jordan. And can you pull up Still Warm when you get a chance to? John Scofield, Still Warm. It's kind of like it's almost like a shadow on the cover, or like a blacked out, like it's him, but it's kind of blacked out. You kind of see.
What's the name of the album for Omar that you had, the gear that you sold to him? What's the name of that album too, by the way?
That's whatever that GRP album is. I want to say it's something deep. Something. He's got like his leg cocked up, man, on the like he's kind of. It's hilarious if you see it. We gotta find.
I know it's got like a colorful shirt color.
Yeah, I had the colorful shirt.
Yeah,
with the bolo tie. Did he have like the bolo tie joint?
He got his knee up, right? He got his arm.
Got his knee up. That's it. That's the one. That's a Schofield, right? Man,
Wow.
That dude. Yeah. That's the one, man. That's the album. Omar is on just, I mean, it's a clinic, man.
I gotta check that record out.
Yeah. Brian, did you find the Omar Hakim solo GRP record? This is hilarious.
That is gonna be a good one.
But while we're looking for that, man, so what's so you got anything else? You got any new? You got how many solo records do you have out?
Just one.
Just one. Okay. One. You have any new? You have a. Are you thinking about
doing
another one?
Back in 2014.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Called Just Because. Jay Williams, Just Because.
Me too. I did one in 2014 as well. I gotta go to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, I do plan to do another one soon.
Do you do the writing, or somebody else writes it? Or
I wrote a couple of tunes on the record, and then I did 2 covers. I did a cover. I mentioned the Hawkins tune, Until I Found the Lord.
Yeah.
I did that, and I have Gerald Albright is on sax.
Oh, nice.
Melvin Davis on bass. A guy named Tracy Carter out of LA. He's on keyboards.
Yeah, I know Tracy.
Yeah. Then I did a remake of a commission.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. That's the back. That's it.
So you sold him that?
I think so, man. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, you set him up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Look at the earring, man. He was not. Oh, that's the clamp though. That's not pierced. He wasn't real about it. He got the clamp on there.
Yeah, I'm glad times have changed.
Right.
There go the bolo. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir.
Got the little squiggly in the front, man, coming down.
You sold him all the layers, bro.
Sold the layers, man. Yep.
Wow.
He was like, man, this is the look I want from my band. I'll never forget what he said. He's like, this is the look I want from my band, man.
What was the name of the store that you worked
in? It was called Carrier. It was a men's clothing store. It was right across. There was a huge, very popular shoe store called Boot Camp, which man, we see everybody coming through. I met so many cats there, man. All the 80s. Jam and Lewis used to come through.
Okay.
Dude, our producer is just smiling right now, bro. I know. Can we get him in that outfit, Chris?
Oh,
that's funny.
We gotta get him that outfit. Get Falco on that bad boy, bro.
Man, 80s, man.
80s,
wow.
Bro.
What a time to be alive, dude. But yeah, I met so many cats that used to come through. Norman Whitfield, the famous songwriter from Motown.
Yep.
Man,
Rolls Royce. He wrote.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he was a dirty old man. That's all I got to say about that. But a lot of different people, man. A lot of Bruce Willis and Demi Moore and Valerie Bertinelli used to come in and shop for Eddie Van Halen. It just a bunch of different. She was great. She was one of my favorite.
Cool.
Jay, I got a question for you. So I teach at a university, and oftentimes I talk about the classroom is not really the classroom. The classroom's outside of the university, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it was, then these cats who graduate from school, they should just be playing in the top bands right away if that was really the classroom. So I'm not denigrating colleges or universities because I'm part of that system, but I'm just trying to make the point. So what are some of the things that college trained musicians don't know? Like, what do they need to know?
Well, I don't know if I can tell you what they need to know.
Okay.
But I can tell you how they can get it.
Okay.
The experience of playing with others in a live setting, I think you can get you can get more education out of the classroom doing that.
Right.
I mean, at least speaking from experience for me. Back to kind of like learning on the job situation. Experience is the biggest teacher to me.
Right.
Having the opportunity and experience to be in that setting, to be in the trenches, that it might have a negative outlook,
right.
thing, but you have to go through it.
I was just gonna say, there is no bad experience. It's all experience, right?
No, they want nowadays. They want the $300, $400 gigs, but they never played the $8 gigs.
Exactly. Like I said, I used to play making money from the door,
right?
Or playing, with my dad. He'll get paid from the gig, and the group that they'll pay me like $10, $15.
Right.
I didn't mind.
Right.
Or my dad. He'll give me. He was my dad, so he was taking care of me. But it's a learning ground in some situations, and even now, being a professional musician, there's certain things that if I feel like doing it or feel like giving back, I'll do it. I'm not above doing certain things as favors for people.
Right.
I make that determination, not
I'm glad you said that, bro, because I might need you for a certain thing. Let you know, bro.
Right.
People say I look like George Duke. If they say I sound like George Duke, I'll be happy.
Right.
Your mannerisms sometimes too, dude. I'm like, man, you've been watching too much Duke, bro.
I have, bro.
That's hilarious.
Them 12 cent albums I just loaded up on George Duke, bro. Remember the 12 cents Columbia joints, whatever?
Oh man.
Oh, wow. That drove me crazy.
But that's I mean, the experience and you can't, I mean, the growth that it takes to, especially to climb to your level, it's not like that just happens because somebody, well, I mean, people do try to make that on social media now. People try to hire people and they get, I've heard just horror stories of getting completely, because somebody has basically put it out there that they are this, and then it turns out to be that once you get them to a gig. I've heard it so many different times, but you can't, there's no shortcuts,
Right.
And one thing I want to kind of tie this in terms of like experiences, the church and the dealing with sort of how the church is now inside of contemporary music or modern music. I mean, it's a part of pop culture, and that are getting these gigs. And some of them don't really know how to play up like just like we talked about earlier. When you're playing for a vocalist, or you're playing for someone that plays a lot of ballads, or you're playing with someone that you have to be able to read charts, you have to play to a click track, you have to do all these things. So what's your opinion on, and just some of the things that since you sort of come out of that world and you're seeing sort of guys getting thrown into that, or they want to get that, but they haven't paid the dues. They don't really, and they don't have the experience to kind of do that. You can't just chop out on everybody's gig. What do you think about that?
For one thing, even in church, like a lot of the records, you don't have a lot of drummers chopping all over the place. So you're learning these songs that you have to play on Sunday, kind of like really hone in on the music that you're learning. And I mean, most of the records that are being played for gospel songs or the gospel hits are drummers like Calvin Rogers, Calvin Napper, or Terry Baker. These guys, I think Terry Baker, one, he's like the Ricky Lawson of gospel music to me. He knows how to play great pocket and make you feel good. he doesn't let chops dictate, his playing. He's not a chop heavy drummer. Calvin Napper's another one.
Calvin, man. Calvin is magic, man. He's one of my favorites.
Now they all have chops,
right?
But they know how to apply them,
right?
And that's how they stay working, even in the gospel field.
Yeah, my friend Dexter Whitaker, you might know Dexter. He's a bass player.
Yeah.
He calls
Dancing
him
Dexter.
Yeah. He calls them gospel gangsters, bro.
He put out a video. Did he do a social media thing on that, man?
Yeah.
He was talking about that.
He was like, man, these drummers with these chops, man, these gospel gangsters come out, bro, just chopping all over the place, bro. Yeah. You can't find a spot to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard something. It's a similar tie. It's kind of tied in because you play Sweet Thing on a nightly basis, right? This is one of the most when Tyrone was talking about tunes that people just don't know how to play. I've heard drummers just soloing over Sweet Thing. I heard it not too long ago. I was like, man, why would you even the mentality to even think like that? Like, this is just it's a beautiful song that needs to, it needs to be
2 lush chords.
It's all about the melody. It's all about the melody and the beauty of the song. It's like, why would you? I just don't, man. That is just like it's definitely in like an ego. It comes from that ego place of wanting to show, I guess, everything you got and all that kind of stuff. But how do you feel like the church have they played over? Because you made an interesting comment to me earlier about this, but I want you to tell everybody the church's role. What's the church's role in that? Do you think?
The church's role. Well, it depends on who's in charge, and then if you have, because like I said, I'm came up in church playing with Dad, so. There are older seasoned musicians who preach to the younger guys as far as playing the music correctly, having a good time, developing, not playing over the lead singer. When it comes to the verse, you break down. So you have those situations where sometimes you have those situations where there's leadership from the director or the musical director in the church where they kind of like, hey, that's enough, or
yeah,
right, so that's
that ain't the Lord, son. That ain't the Lord right now.
So if you have those situations, or that's a good thing that can lead you to the next level. The next level of now it's funny now how a lot of touring musicians are back in church now. So they bring the road approach to church. So everything is more kind of
professionally
put together.
Out.
Put together. Like, they have band rehearsals like touring musicians rehearse, and medleys. Everything is
stuff
clean.
Going into
they're playing to stems in church. That type of thing. It's almost like recording a record every Sunday morning.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's good. That's a good thing for younger musicians to kind of look at now. And like I said, back in the day, it was more, you almost do whatever you want, and then until somebody say, hey, that's
right.
Church is like the last grooming grounds for musicians. There's no more garage bands where, so if you're playing in church, you have a huge advantage. You're playing every week. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be scared of playing. You're playing in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, nerves is on, like, you used to have garage bands and other places, little school bands and neighborhood bands and stuff like that. Now it's like church is the only place you can get cats who have experience playing in live situations,
Yeah.
So it's a huge advantage. So shout out to church musicians out there everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, the only issue I have with a lot of younger church musicians, when they get these opportunities to play outside of church or tour with touring artists, a lot of times they sell short, meaning they accept less money than much less money than the experienced tour musician would take. And these artists kind of see that this young cat is
Oh wow, right, wow, yeah.
So they'd rather have the younger guys so they can pay less, and that's not a good thing in my opinion.
I've seen that with the actors now, especially black actors from London. They can do American accents really good now. Well, but they get paid less than. So it's always a good idea, like you said, with mentorship, Jay, that you ask the older people, hey man, I'm not trying to get your pocket, but what should I charge? I do that.
Right.
I had an opportunity to arrange something like a string thing, and I hadn't done it before, but I was confident in my abilities. I did research. I read books and stuff like that. I looked up scores and stuff like that. But when it came time to the payment part of it, called up a friend of mine and said, listen, man, I said, I want to charge the right thing. Let me know what it is. And when he told me, I was like, okay, cool. But I wasn't going to undercut what the cats who've been doing for years, because that's disrespectful,
Yeah.
It messes up everybody.
And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of times when you're in new situations, there's nothing wrong with calling somebody you trust.
Right.
And ask them, like, so what should I ask for? Or what should I expect? Or, because like you said, you don't want to outcharge yourself to the point that you won't get called again.
Right.
Or get, because they're, so yeah. And you know what you're worth.
Yeah. And you
got
to,
yeah. If you're honest, you really know what you're worth.
Right.
And don't ask for, Dennis Chambers' money when, so right.
You're right, bro, because all right, people, you could play a 3-hour set without taking a break, but you shouldn't do that. You have to, you shouldn't set it up for everybody to do that.
It's right. These,
RC played straight for 3 hours. Nah, man.
And left with $150.
Bro.
Right. Right.
So
as a guy, I'm not gonna mention his name, but he called me up one time. He said, I got a 4-hour gig for $75, and then we go pack up and then go to the other place like an hour away. There's another 4 hours. He said, I said $75 for both. He said each one. That's $150. I said, I said that's like a 12-hour day, bro.
Right, you spend most of that in gas.
He said, cats don't want to make no money.
Cats like that. That's all they know, man. Right. That's what they know. That's all they know. That's all they've ever done.
Like, man, most of it's on the road and packing up your stuff. Is that right there?
Yeah, definitely.
Man. Well, listen, my man, we don't want to keep you
you've been so kind to give up this time.
You've been so kind to give up your time, man.
And it's an honor, man.
Man. I mean, we will have you back, man, and do, I want to do some drum talk for real. Yeah. So bump all this other stuff, keyboards and what you should get paid. Yeah, see, he's gone again, right? So, and we're gonna chop it up just strictly drums, no interruptions.
Yes,
nobody chiming in about what was George Duke's favorite keyboard and all.
He loved that part.
Did y'all Did y'all do Sweet Baby and all asking all these questions? And we don't need to hear that.
I tell you what, why don't I come down to Atlanta and we do a live right there?
Woo!
Done, son.
Done.
Yeah.
Done, man. Done.
Sitting behind drums.
Oh, I'm gonna roll that organ out, bro.
See now here he comes again. What, man? This had nothing to do with the organ, bro.
Showing up, answer your door, bro. Answer it up.
Oh my goodness. But listen, man, enjoy your time at home. I know unfortunately your AC is is on the fritz, but hey, man, enjoy your time, man. And you gonna what are you just gonna when you're home? What do you just chill with your family and
yes, I have a very very needy family. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, as we all
no, no, they're my support group.
Right.
So I spend a lot of time with them. My daughter, she's a senior in college, so I spend a lot of time with her. My wife's a singer as well, so we're working on some things with her as well. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So cool. Is she what is she majoring in, if I can ask?
Communication and communications,
journalism,
and public relations. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My brother's in public relations. Yeah, my younger brother.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, a lot of many varied things. Yeah, to do in that.
Hey, man. Well, when you come to the A, you always got a place to stay, man. You can stay with Tyrone all you want to. He got a house for you, man. He gonna cook you some. No, I'm just. You can stay with
all that. If he come to my house, that drum set gonna be set up with mics and everything.
All right.
You already know,
man. That's where you gonna be over there, man.
Like, hey, man, what would it sound like if you played?
Right.
What you hearing over this, bro?
Yeah.
What you hear? That's a good one.
Let me press this shift and space bar right here.
What you hearing over this?
What you hear? I had a cat do that one time before. I said, man, what you hearing over there? I played something over there. Next thing you know, I got a 1099 from the cat, man.
Right.
I was like,
yeah.
You got me on record and you didn't pay me. You charged me.
Dog. Yeah. There was a story about Gerald Albright. He told somebody told him, he plays bass.
Right.
So he was like, I get an opportunity to play bass on a record. So he's like, and then right before he got, left the house, he's like, make sure you bring your sax. What? Yeah. That was an interesting story. That was funny.
Man, so where can we find your album? You just look up, what's the name of the album? And
Jay Williams, Just Because. And it's on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and my Trump.
Nice.
Get it straight from the source, man.
Straight
from the source.
Yeah, please come to the A. Let us know. I will set up a clinic and masterclass, paid by the way, for you.
Absolutely, man.
Man, that would be amazing. I would love to do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You let us know, man. We'll try to get some not try, but we will get some things hooked up for you, man. To come through and show your gifts, man. That would be beautiful.
And share your knowledge, share your wisdom that you just shared today.
Absolutely.
It'd be an honor. I appreciate you too for inviting me to do this. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
It's new ground for me. But
yes, sir.
Man, you did like a seasoned pro, bro. I see how you got the gigs, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got them.
The humbleness, man. The humble Jay Williams, man. That's why the cat is in demand like he is. He's a beast behind the kit as well. But he just,
Yeah, we know a lot of cats are killing, but unmeek Mill around this bad boy.
Unmeek Mill. I'm using that. That's funny.
Woo.
Yeah, man.
Listen, man. Thank you so much, man. And we will be in touch, my man. And you take care, and we'll see you soon and talk to you soon, my man.
All right, you too. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Peace out, man. All right.
Yeah, man. That was really cool.
Good one, man. Good.
Yeah, really
great cat, man. I mean, sometimes as he said, he's kind of an introvert. He's a man of few words. Sometimes, like we had a great conversation when I met him.
It wasn't contrived. It just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened, but there was neither one of us had any kind of agenda or it was just he had some kind things to say about my plan and
y'all weren't dropping names and stuff. Yeah, man, to play with the
bro. I had to, because I knew who the cat was. I knew who he was, but I didn't know who he, right? I didn't know
Right.
that as many, but that's the man. That's the beauty of a cat like that is he unless you totally ask him and pin him down, he's not going to tell you all the stuff he's either done or he's doing. It's he's super humble that way. And again, man, just one of my favorite in terms of just not only his musicality. That's what, though, that cat, he's got of course, all of the things that you would expect him to have, but his musicality to me is what sets him, was why he's working and has played with the cats that he's played with, man.
Well, look at the various artists that he mentioned, the names that he mentioned as his influences. I can't think of some cats today who can't mention any names who they're influenced by. I mean,
right.
Like you guys talk about, Schofield, all the way to Sting, all the way to all these different genres that you are in charge of. And it's not just one thing. It's not just like, man, I'm just bebop, which, by the way, bebop period is only 4 years, 2 to 4 years, right?
Right.
Just a short microcosm of everything that's out there. So how can you just be a specialist when it was those cats who invented bebop stopped playing bebop?
Stop playing it. It's important, and it's an important part of the curriculum, if you will.
It's not the only curriculum, though.
No, but you could kind of say that about just about anything. It's like
but people sell themselves short. Like, okay, I tell a story all the time. I hated musicals and theater work. Some of my best work now is from theaters. I wish I would have joined the drama club, played music in that, and done some of that stuff.
Right.
And I know, but it's important to be rounded as an individual.
It's important to be rounded, man. That's just as you said, just as an individual, but as a musician, it just, man, it gives you so many, for lack of a better word, weapons to choose from.
Yes.
It's hard to be good at a lot of different things, but it really starts with your passion. If you're passionate about playing a certain type of music, you can be great at that. But a lot of it is, I don't have a passion for country music, so to speak.
Right.
I don't try to play, and I've gotten caught out of pocket. I've gotten caught in a couple situations where, oh my God, I'm having to play some, man, I'm lost. I don't know how to approach.
You just defer to the people who knows how to play. You're just like, hey, call this cat.
And the only reason I got caught on it was because it happened in the moment. It was like, oh, we're going to do this. I was like, what? It's like, and I'm thinking at the time, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, I can play a train beat.
Which is what the mentality is now. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. Right. We see it every week, man. I can do that. Yeah. So, and I got caught in a situation, man, and I happened to be recording myself. I went back and listened to that. I was so embarrassed, man. I was like, because the snare was all over the place. I could never settle on where to place it because I don't know that language, right? And when people, I'll get on my jazz gig, or they play that, it's like, dude, you have no idea what that language is. Why would you even try to go there? But when you're passionate about something, you have an inkling to learn the depth of that music. And if you are passionate about a lot of different styles, you'll be good at a lot of different styles.
Well, that session that we had today.
Yes, sir.
So much. It had to have.
But bro, we weren't struck. We were like, it was like second nature to us.
Like, that's supposed to be the hard song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, we're talking mixed meter, mixed time, mixed genre, mixed style, all those different things. And okay, what's the next thing? It's like, do we need to take a break? Nah, let's keep going. Wow, okay.
Right. So
but that's when you get the right cats on the gig, on the thing, it makes it easier.
Man, if I could pass anything down to, our mission is trying to work with young musicians, pull up young musicians, and try to, that boy last night, I'm gonna get him. He think I say, man, you got my number? He's like,
you told him that? Oh, you got it. Good.
I got him. I got him. Super talented. I mean, got it. Yeah. Really got it. So, but that's our thing is, hey, this is a great learning tool, is learning standards, learning form, learning harmony. Got to work on your rhythms, work on your rhythm. This is because you can take this anywhere into, it's going to be, everything else is going to be easy after this. If you can get this, Christian McBride, I mean, all these cats talk about that. It's like, man, you can go then it's like you can hear anything, you know. This is, I would, man, if I had to go back and do it all again, I wish I would have gotten to, the jazz idiom earlier in my career, because it's completely changed the whole way that I think about music,
and listen to music.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But cool, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, everybody. This is a great episode. We've got some more fireworks coming. Not like Kebby Williams last week, but we do have some fireworks coming.
Hey, can I give a shameless plug for a gig?
Please do, please.
July 28th at St. James Live.
Yes.
My sister is coming up and singing, so that's gonna be cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever heard my sister sing?
Man, maybe just.
Did we do something with? No.
One time I was at something that.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, 4:00, but she's gonna be singing. I think she's the most talented one out of all of us. Not sure she's the hardest worker, but she came out of the womb singing. But she's really, really good, and she's a music therapist by trade, though.
So, man, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Man. So I'm excited to have her come up and sing some numbers with us and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool. Well, we've talked a little, but we will give the shameless plugs.
We definitely need that August gig with Pat Bianchi. I don't want to miss that.
So the August 8th, we will be at Napoleon's. This is going to be I don't know. I'm not going to say a one-time thing because it might turn into something. We'll see. We got one set of Pat Bianchi, one set of Tyrone Jackson.
Let's switch that because I want to go first and get it over with. One set of Tyrone Jackson and one set of Pat Bianchi. I can just sit back there and not even worry about it, bro.
Man, you got plenty to say. That's all I can say.
Thank you, brother. See, bro, come on. Tell the truth. Tell it.
I'm not telling. I mean, look, man. Pat lives on the organ.
He inspired me though, bro.
I know he did. I haven't seen you. I don't think I've ever seen someone inspire you that. And we've been around some bad. I mean, it's not take away from anybody. Cats in town. I mean, there's a lot of great musicians, man. But I think the thing that separates a guy is, man, he lives that, man.
Yeah.
And it just is, it's like being around, I don't know if he would call himself a master, but it's definitely like, this is what I do. You know what I mean? He ain't trying to play piano. He ain't trying to.
I met a person like me on organ. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt
on organ.
Right.
And only on the organ.
On his ability to go those different directions, like I like to do on piano.
Right.
He was doing on organ on steroids, right? And so that was like immediately as it was going on, my wheels was turning like, oh, I could do this too. Right. I could do that,
That's an interesting thing that you just said, because just like with any genre or any style, or you get sort of pigeonholed into this is what it is. Oh, you're going to play jazz organ? You got to sound like Jimmy Smith. You got to sound like Jack McDuff. You got to sound like Joey D. You got to sound like, if you're going to play
Griff, whatever you're going to do. Yeah.
And so what's cool about that is you like you said, you kind of heard yourself where it was like he's taking these chances. He's going with he wants the drummer to give him everything. So he wants the drummer to push him. He wants the drummer to inspire him into new ideas that he did not want to go. He wasn't just playing against the drummer, right? Where so that was a breath of fresh air, for sure. So y'all, August 8th, please mark your calendars if you're in town. 8 p.m. at Napoleon's. And then the following 2 nights, if you are in Nashville, I will be with Pat and Ben Weatherford over at Rudy's Jazz Room. I think that's 2 sets per night, maybe. I can't remember exactly. But I think we started 8 as well. So if you're in the Nashville area,
I might have to do the 10th, man. I might have to come up there,
man.
Just the weekend before I go back to school to work. So,
well,
it's only 4 hours.
We'll be up there. We'll be up there. We'll be up there chilling. I'm gonna be up there chilling, my boy. I didn't get a chance to see my man George Sluppick. George, if you're in the chat, what's up? Okay. He was in town playing with Robert Cray this past weekend, but I didn't work out. But he's gonna be up there hanging out. We're gonna do a hang. So should be some cats floating around and coming out and checking everything out. So it'll be a nice place to network and meet some cats up there, man, as well.
Sure.
And I'm sure Pat would love for you to sit in. So yeah, man. So other than that, we will be at Red Light tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to being over there. It's going to be happening. Line out the door. So get there early. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for people to come out before you can come in. Reminds you of an old school New York jazz club. The way, line.
We're going to be getting into some stuff from the very beginning. So just letting y'all know.
Yes, sir. So that's Gordon Vernick, his session that he leads over there. No nonsense. Don't come over there if you don't come over there. Tell y'all, you know who you are. Don't come over there.
Do not try.
Don't come over there because you ain't that warm blanket that Sure. Nah, man.
You went to the turd buffet and you kept eating.
Why you ain't gonna get nope. You ain't gonna get none of that.
You said that one time. Somebody came up.
Is this your first time doing this?
You said yes.
It showed. You're not going to do this again, are you?
I was like,
yes.
First time, isn't it?
Yes.
You're not going to do this again, are you?
That's my guy, man.
Oh man, he's over it, man. He's been over it.
That's straight New York, bro. He's from New York, His dad was a bass player, so you already know,
Yep.
But yeah, I'm looking forward. I got myself on the gig actually as soon as I found out.
And I got myself on the gig too, because I was like, I need to check this out, man. I want to get a piece of this.
Right.
So and the venerable Neil Starkey will be with us also. Legendary, great. We got to get Neil on. That will be an interesting episode, but we have to do it. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for all your support. If you're new, subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
On YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Local Musicians XP.
Yes.
And
Falgoo,
thank you for all of your hard work. He is not feeling himself, but he is a trooper, man, hanging in there. All that partying, man. How many pull, man? I told him, I said, look, man, your limit is 3 pull boys. But did he listen? No, he didn't.
Did he eat at Snug Harbor too?
No, actually, I forgot. Did you eat it snug? Because the burger is the same as Portugal.
Right. Yeah. It's happening.
But all of the daiquiri, went to all the daiquiri spots. I know, man.
Walked around everything with the daiquiri in hand, you know.
Cafe de Monde, doing all beignets.
He didn't do beignets, huh?
That's what New Orleans, man. New Orleans
can't do beignets, man. We don't do beignets. That's for y'all tourists to do, man.
Oh, that I guess he's for That's the
we get that when we were a kid and stuff. Nobody wants to sit outside the hot with no. You can only eat them while they're hot. You can't. It's not like you take them with you.
And it'd be hot as heck in the French Quarter, bro. Right. I'm like, how do people go? How does Cafe du Monde survive in the French Quarter with people coming to eat, drink hot coffee,
there,
and eat hot beignets? It's hot as heck out here.
hot.
Man, you talk about hot, bro. I'm like, man, nah, dude. Y'all got this. No way.
Oh man. Well,
man,
bro,
heat is different, bro.
We gotta get Falgu out of here, bro. You know.
Yes, sir. We all got to get out of here. So, all right, guys, we will see you all next week. Peace out. Bye.